Oregon. This is NBC 16 News at 5:30.
We're learning more about the Roseburg man charged in several shootings on Interstate 5. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Mazur. Well, state police say the suspect fired at vehicles while driving a UPS truck. NBC 16's David Ochoa has the details tonight.
Kenneth Ayers of Roseburg was arrested Thursday night for a shooting in Jackson County on I-5 Wednesday night. A woman who was hit while driving her car was taken to the hospital and later released. According to Oregon State Police, Ayers was shooting while driving his work truck.
Oregon State troopers have been diligently investigating these shootings since the beginning of May 12th and recently received information and believe that a UPS truck could be involved.
In May, Oregon State Police began investigating a number of shootings along I-5. The shooting stretched from Canyonville to as far as Grants Pass.
Investigators have connected Ayers to 7 shootings. They say he was on his UPS route when he was located about 60 miles north of Wednesday's shooting.
The search of the truck revealed a firearm consistent with the type that had been used in several of these shootings.
Police say Ayers' routes were consistent with the dates of the shootings.
Beginning in May, his route took him south of Roseburg on Interstate 5, also took him on Highways 140 and Highway 62.
Ayers was arrested at his home in Roseburg Thursday night. He is being held at the Jackson County Jail on a number of charges, including attempted murder. So far, motive and the type of firearm he used is unknown. In a statement, UPS said, quote, "We are appalled to hear about these allegations and are fully cooperating with the responding authorities. Firearms are prohibited at UPS facilities and in our vehicles, and we are extremely concerned for the other motorists and individuals affected." Reporting in Douglas County, I'm David Ochoa.
Federal buildings shut down today after someone threatened to use a vehicle full of explosives to blow one up. A federal courthouse, an insurance building, and even 2 daycare centers sent people home today. It's unknown if the threat is related to the protests and riots going on in Portland for months. This is an ongoing investigation. The FBI does have a tip line anyone can call if they have information about this new threat. Portland police arrested 3 people overnight as officers and protesters clashed outside the ICE building in South Portland. Police declared an unlawful assembly after they say protesters lit fires and threw projectiles at both Portland police and federal officers. The crowd cleared out around 2 this morning. Well, have you seen her? The Corvallis Police Department is asking for help in finding a missing runaway teen. Police say Ava Carey was last seen yesterday evening near her home in Corvallis. She's described as 5 feet 6 inches and 107 pounds. She has reddish auburn hair, usually worn in a ponytail, and one side of her head is shaved. She was last seen wearing blue jeans with a black t-shirt and running shorts with a dark-colored fisherman's cap. Police say she left with her skateboard. Anyone with information is asked to contact Corvallis Police. Covering the nation, the United States Postmaster General testified before Congress in a virtual hearing this morning. Louis DeJoy recognized the political heat after announcing changes to the Postal Services ahead of the election. DeJoy faced tough questions from Senate Democrats demanding to know whether he's delaying mail delivery for political reasons. DeJoy told lawmakers USPS is boosting efforts to avoid delays.
As we head into the election season, I want to assure this committee and the American public that the Postal Service is fully capable and committed to delivering the nation's election mail securely and on time.
DeJoy did reverse USPS changes until after the election. The Inspector General for the Postal Service is now investigating the changes. Tomorrow, the House is set to vote on a bill to save the post office. DeJoy is scheduled to testify before the House on Monday. Well, concerns about the post office services were front and center today in front of the post office on Willamette here in Eugene. NBC 16's Angelina Dixon reports.
It comes at a time with political conventions on the way, and it comes at a time where some residents say they need their mail. State officials visit with us here today at the United States Post Office in Eugene.
If you listen to what the Postmaster General said this morning, everything's going to be fine. He's going to make sure everything is taken care of. But with the Trump administration, you watch for deeds, not words.
Oregon state and federal lawmakers held a press conference in downtown Eugene to express concern with Americans sending and receiving mail, not just for voting, but for other necessities.
You heard a little mention earlier about delays
in veterans getting their medication. All of the veterans out there, can I see your hand? This is about you.
Postal workers spoke today to express concerns and experiences with a community needing their mail. State Democrats say they want to make sure post offices do not interfere with the presidential election in November.
This is a crisis for America. It's about people's lives. It's about the future of our representative democracy with voting. It couldn't be more important. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate it.
With plenty of time to make a decision before Oregon ballots are sent in the mail, state officials want to make sure those arrive and are returned without issue. In Eugene, I'm Angelina Dixon reporting.
All right, thanks, Angelina. Well, the deadline to register to vote is October 13th, with ballot mailing starting the 14th. All of the $500 emergency relief checks are officially distributed. Oregon lawmakers made the announcement today. The checks were made available for anyone facing financial hardship due to the pandemic. On Wednesday, more than 60% of the $500 payments were distributed as the program kicked off. Previously scheduled appointments will continue through the end of the month, but new appointments will not be honored. Oregon firefighters arrived in California and are now battling the LNU Lightning Complex fire in Napa Valley. CAL FIRE says it's more than 200,000 acres and about 7% contained. 480 homes and businesses are destroyed. 3 task forces from Marion, Lynn, and Clatsop counties left for California on Wednesday. 2 more from Lane and Klamath counties left just yesterday. There are a total of 86 Oregon firefighters deployed in California. This is now the 4th year in a row the state fire marshal's office mobilized task forces to California. Well, taking a live look at Eugene this afternoon, our Alan Matthews joins us now in our weather center with more. Hey, Alan.
Hey, Jacqueline. Yeah, actually, you're starting to see the clouds start to break up a little bit, and a little bit of sun starting to poke through there. We didn't get the rainfall that we were hoping for, but it's really not a surprise because we weren't expecting a lot. 79 degrees right now in Eugene, so that cloud cover has at least helped keep the temperatures down. A west-southwest wind at 15 and our humidity at 50%. As far as our high temperatures are concerned, we did hit the low 80s today at 81. Roseburg in the mid-80s at 85, and Corvallis a high today of 79. And not a lot to show you as far as rainfall with our radar satellite. You kind of have to squint to see it. It looks like maybe a little bit of shower activity around the Corvallis area. Otherwise, most everyone else is looking at some cloud cover right now, but that is starting to break. And the good news is that, well, things should clear out for at least your weekend. Temperatures are going to be a little bit below average for this time of the year. Actually, that shouldn't be having the rain there, but the temperature-wise is right, as we're going to see our highs in the low 80s. Jacqueline?
All right, Alan, thank you. Well, turning to the coronavirus pandemic in Oregon, where COVID-19 cases continue to climb. The Oregon Health Authority reports 259 new confirmed and presumptive COVID-19 cases and 2 new deaths. Oregon has 24,400 COVID-19 cases and 414 deaths since the pandemic started. Governor Kate Brown is calling on county leaders and local law enforcement to step up enforcement of the state's COVID-19 restrictions. Governor Brown says the state is averaging 300 cases per day. She says the state needs to be at 60 cases per day before she loosens up some restrictions.
Local officials need to get creative about enforcing rules against large social gatherings, big house parties, pool parties, and so forth. Too many cases over this summer have come from these informal social get-togethers.
Health officials say new infections are going down. However, new models indicate there will not be enough of a decrease to meet the governor's goals. Health officials say cases continue to be linked to social gatherings. Brown is not introducing any new restrictions, but says she may have to at a later date. The Coquille School District is now releasing its plans for reopening. Starting on September 14th, students in pre-K to 3rd grade will attend classes in person. 4th to 12th graders will engage in comprehensive distance learning, but there are some exceptions. On an invitation-only basis, some students will have a chance to work with a teacher for extra support in person.
So we can bring them in for up to 2 hours at a time. And maybe at the high school, we have students that struggle with geometry. They could come in and work, 10 of them at a time could come and work with the math teacher for that kind of support.
Teachers and administrators will work to determine which students qualify for the limited invitation. This option gives the district more flexibility than last spring when no one was allowed on campus. The Coquille School District will take a full week of school off after the first 5 weeks.
We'll get a chance to look at what's going on at the state level, at the town level, county level, what's going on in our zip code, those kind of things. And we may be able to, on October 26th, bring students in a hybrid format.
Students will be off the week of October 19th. Sweeney says the district is in great shape to serve students, and they're ready to start a hybrid format as soon as possible. And as a reminder, for J parents, the deadline to pick one of the 3 learning options for students this upcoming year is Wednesday, August 26th. Those options include same school hybrid models, same school online, and Eugene Online Academy. Parents who do not respond to one of the online options by the deadline will have students enrolled in the hybrid option. Meanwhile, we have more information on each option on our website at NBC16.com. Now coming up on your only local news at 5:30, a Depression-era civilian conservation corps seeks to boost jobs. How a bill in the U.S. Senate could be a big win for rural economies. And when we're not on air, we continue to bring you the latest developments on our website, NBC16.com, and on our Facebook page at Kmtr News. You can also download our Kmtr News app on your phone for free. We'll be back after the break.
Skycam 16 gives you a real-time look at today's weather. NBC 16 News at 5:30.
Welcome back. One of the most enduring programs to come out of President Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal may see new life. A bill is in the U.S. Senate that would revive the Civilian Conservation Corps. NBC 16's Tom Adams is live in the studio with more on that new legislation and a look back as its very famous predecessor. Tom.
Well, Jacqueline, the 21st Century Civilian Conservation Corps Act is proposed to create thousands of living wage jobs in the force of rural America. Now, you may have never heard of the earlier, more famous 3Cs program, but their projects and infrastructure live on here in Oregon. It was 1933, in the depths of the Great Depression. America was experiencing poverty like never before.
Young boys saw their fathers cry for the first time they lost their jobs.
Out of that poverty was born the Civilian Conservation Corps, a time when millions of jobless young men found work in one of the largest public relief programs in U.S. history.
They built roads, they planted trees, they fought fires, they constructed facilities for recreational use.
Tony Farquet at the Sweet Home Ranger District has recorded the histories of the CCCs in Oregon. 70,000 unemployed men found their way here to work and work.
On the Willamette, they built over 1,000 miles of road, 800 miles of trails. They built over 80 campgrounds, observatories.
The projects include many Oregon landmarks like the D. Wright Observatory at McKenzie Pass and Honeyman State Park near Florence. Crews also fought wildfires, one of them the disastrous fire that nearly wiped out the city of Bandon in 1936.
I've interviewed a number of old-timers who lied about their age. They were 15 and 16 and they needed to help their families, so they signed up.
Oregon Senator Ron Wyden says the same kind of program with a 21st century update is what he is pushing for. And not just for forced employment, but also the recreation economy.
The guides and the outfitters, the recreation economy is a big engine in the state of Oregon.
A win-win for rural economies that Wyden says Congress should get behind. That new CCC bill would authorize $5.5 billion between the Forest Service and the Bureau of Land Management to increase the pace of hazardous fuels reduction and forest thinning efforts. Jacqueline?
All right, thanks for that report, Tom. Well, blood supplies are usually down during the summer, and donations during August are important. All blood types are needed. You can schedule your appointment now through BloodWorks. Head to their website at bloodworksnw.org. To keep everyone safe, they've shifted from walk-ins to scheduled appointments.
And now, Alan Matthews with weather.
Well, we'll start out this forecast with a live look over Roseburg, and you're also seeing a good amount of cloud cover over the city right now. We saw a lot of cloud cover for the day today. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of rainfall out of it. Now, we still do, fingers crossed, have a slight chance of some early showers this evening. However, once that system pushes out of the area, we're going to be looking at a sunny and dry weekend, and our temperatures for the most part are going to be near average for this time of the year. In fact, we're not going to really see a lot of change in our temperatures once we get into the weekend and into next week. Right now, Eugene at 79 degrees. We're seeing an 83-degree reading down in Roseburg, 73 up in Corvallis. Head out to the coast, 61 in Florence, 64 right now in North Bend. And as far as that temperature change is concerned, well, you can see we are 6 degrees cooler. Corvallis, Eugene, and Roseburg all 6 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago. And we head out to the coast. North Bend also 6 degrees cooler. You can see Newport 9 degrees cooler. Unfortunately, the rain totals, yeah, they were very disappointing, but we kind of had the feeling that was going to be the case for today. You can see for Eugene, just 1/100th of an inch, and that's kind of what we were expecting. The disappointment was we were looking for some higher rain totals on the coast, maybe 1/10 of an inch, and unfortunately Coos Bay and Newport didn't quite get that. Now, as we look at the radar satellite, just seeing the cloud cover right now, it looks like a band of rain to the north of us. I'm not seeing any reports of rain in Corvallis, and Newport right now just reporting a little bit of a light drizzle out there. So for the most part, most of the area is dry at this point. And once that system pushes on through, we are looking at a dry weekend. You can see that cold front moves on off to the east from our area. High pressure starts to move in. We'll get this northerly flow. Temperatures return to average for this time of the year. Looking a lot of sunshine, though, as we get to the weekend as well. In fact, we break down the next 48 hours and still a chance of some spotty showers. I'm not going to give up hope, although I don't think it's going to happen. And then once you get into Saturday morning, you'll start out the day with a little bit of cloud cover out there, but that cloud cover should thin out as we get into Saturday afternoon. And again, we'll see mostly sunny skies, maybe a little cloud cover off the coast as we get into the weekend. As far as your forecast is concerned, overnight temperatures are going to be in the mid-50s for the Willamette Valley. Highs tomorrow are going to be in the low 80s. We should be looking at a mostly sunny sky through most of the day, maybe a little cloud cover to get your day off to a start. We'll hit the mid-80s on Sunday, and you can see pretty average for this time of the year as we get into next week. Our average high is 82, and the temperatures are going to hover around that. As far as the south coast is concerned, overnight lows will be in the mid-50s, highs tomorrow upper 60s to low 70s. Coos Bay, you're going to be looking at the possibility of some patchy fog to get your day off to a start for both Saturday and Sunday. Not a lot of change in your temperatures, highs in the low 70s for the 7-day period, and those overnight lows, yeah, you're seeing a lot of 52s up there, and the average low is 53. So again, pretty much what we expect this time of the year. For the Umpqua Valley, temperatures overnight are going to be in the upper 50s to low 60s. Highs tomorrow, mid to upper 80s. Roseburg will be looking at highs in the upper 80s for both Saturday and Sunday. Maybe a little cloud cover to get your day off to a start. Things should clear out. And then as we look into next week, those highs in the mid to upper 80s, those overnight lows in the mid 50s. So basically, once we get through today, we're going to kind of settle into a pattern. We're not going to see a lot of our change. Temperatures, you can see, maybe fluctuating just by a couple of degrees. Pretty average for this time of the year, which is kind of nice because it beats that triple-digit heat that we had, last weekend.
Right, that is true. I will give you that. All right,
yes.
Thanks, Alan. Well, coming up on your only local news at 5:30, the Portland Timbers kick off the MLS season Sunday, a preview ahead of their first match against the Seattle Sounders. Welcome back. Professional soccer returns to Oregon this weekend. The Portland Timbers are set to host their first match at home since winning the MLS is Back tournament last week in Orlando. NBC 16's Hayden Herrera has a preview of Sunday's return to the pitch.
Home is where the heart is, and on Sunday, it's where the Timbers are. For the first time since March 8th, soccer is returning to Providence Park. And what better way to resume things than with a Cascadia Cup clash against the Seattle Sounders?
It allows us to make sure that we are prepared and ready to perform because, everybody understands that it's a derby and it's going to be a very good match.
The Timbers had no trouble playing in front of no fans in Orlando, winning the MLS is Back tournament over Orlando City. But playing in an empty Providence Park with no Timbers army in sight will be different.
The experience when you score against Seattle with fans is amazing, and we will miss that. But in the other way, we know that this game is very, very special and important for everyone in this club.
And when you have a fan group like we do, it is even more difficult to replace them.
As happy as the team is to be back in Portland and reunited with family, the Timbers know they must continue to build off their performance in Orlando into the regular season.
I think we are all professionals, and we know how important this game is going to be. So I expect everyone to be just ready the way we're supposed to face this opposition.
Phase 1 of the 18-game revised season schedule consists of 6 matches against regional opponents. Giovanni Savarese says his squad needs to treat these games as another tournament.
And that's why we need to be ready to perform, ready to be able to get 3 points to win, and that's the mentality.
All right, thanks, Hayden. Well, kickoff for the Timbers against the Sounders is Sunday at 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Now, finally tonight, it's never too early to think of fall and especially pumpkin spice flavored everything. Well, this fall, a hard seltzer is jumping on the pumpkin spice bandwagon. The Vive brand, whatever, is launching a pumpkin spice hard seltzer in September. It's a very limited release, only available at some Kroger stores nationwide. Now, Alan, I love pumpkin spice everything usually. I'm not going to lie. But
I will disagree.
Hard seltzer?
I will disagree, though, on your statement of it's never too early. It is too early. We had the discussion when Kendall was filling in, and I think it's too early. It should be at least fall. Fall starts September 22nd. Can we wait till fall, or at least after Labor Day, for pumpkin spice?
Right. I mean, at least we're not seeing Christmas in store aisles just yet.
Don't even
All right,
say
thanks,
it.
Alan.
Don't
Thanks
even.
for joining us.